All right, and with that, we'll get started with the next slide. Okay, so tonight we're going to provide a construction update, community engagement details, and we're going to save time for that Q&A at the end that I mentioned. And any questions that we are unable to cover tonight during the meeting, we will be posting those in a follow-up to our website after this meeting. And tonight you're going to hear from Ray Biggs II, our Senior Project Director from MTA, Doran Vaso, our CEO with Purple Line Transit Partners, Hugo Fontierez, our Project Executive with MTS, Scott Glass, who is our construction manager for this area, as well as Mike Edlin, who is also a construction manager. And if you don't know me, I'm Carla Julian. I'm our stakeholder manager with MTS, and I will be facilitating the meeting. And the stations that we are going to focus on tonight are Lyttonsville and 16th Street, Woodside. So to progress construction in all of these areas, there's a lot of different phases that we have going on consecutively. And those include utility relocation, storm drain system installations, track installation, system utilities, and testing. That all needs to occur at the same time. So within our 16-mile alignment, each segment is in a different phase. And as you may have noticed, a lot of those segments, you can start to see our station canopies and track installation, which is exciting. And with that, we're going to go to our next slide, where we're going to show you our spring 2024 progress video, which features our project leadership team. Seems like we're having some technical difficulty with that video. Ray, would you like to come on, and then we'll get that video situated, and perhaps we'll start with that timeline.
Yes, sounds good. As with anything with construction, we're always ready for anything that may be unexpected. So we'll get back to the video, but I'll just talk about a little bit of things that are going on. You'll see in the video that construction activities have continued to ramp up over the last 18 months over the entire alignment. And in the video, you'll see the Talbot Avenue Bridge. We are excited to officially open that bridge on this Friday, May 24th. Looking forward to seeing you all out there. And with all the work moving ahead, we look forward to the anticipated arrival of the light rail vehicles at the new Glen Ridge Operations and Maintenance Facility later this spring. The test track area, which is centered around Glen Ridge Operations and Maintenance Facility, is scheduled for completion in this summer, kicking off a period of intensive local testing, integrated testing, and initial operator training while construction continues elsewhere along the alignment. By spring of 2026, construction across the entire alignment will have progressed enough to allow for system-wide testing, full operational training, and the commissioning activities necessary to prove out a safe and ready light rail system. As announced back in March, the Purple Line is scheduled to open for service in winter of 2027. Now let's see if we can get the video up and working for us. Let's try again. And if not, we'll just jump right into the core of the presentation with Scott Glass. So let's try the video one more time.
Give us 1 second. We're going to share that screen. Sorry, guys, our presentation seems to be stuck over here, so just give us a sec.
Welcome to the latest update on the Purple Line project. This year, we placed thousands of feet of track, an exciting example of tremendous progress being made by Purple Line crews. 2024 is set to be a year of momentum.
The Purple Line track installation teams will be reaching even more areas. Already, tracks have been placed at the southern end of the project, along Ellen Road and Veterans Parkway, and throughout the University of Maryland. The track at Campus Drive is embedded track, seamlessly integrated into the road surface. The Purple Line boasts three main types of tracks: embedded, ballast track, and direct fixation. Each plays a crucial role in our mission to ensure a smooth journey from New Carrollton to Bethesda. Progress is visible along the whole 16-mile alignment. In Bethesda, crews have put the custom-made sprung arch form system to work to cast the first sections of the new cavern ceiling. The cavern will connect the 130-foot deep shaft to Metro's Bethesda station. In Silver Spring, the new Purple Line station is rapidly taking shape. From the installation of utilities to the erection of canopies, progress is evident at every turn. But Silver Spring is just one of the 14 stations underway. Station platforms are also emerging at key locations like Connecticut Avenue, Lyttonsville, Campus Drive at the University of Maryland, College Park, and Glen Ridge, among others. In December, crews poured an impressive 720 cubic yards of concrete in one day to form the roof of the tunnel extension between Wayne Avenue and the Manchester Place station. We also finished the concrete, fencing, and paving needed to open the new and improved Talbot Avenue Bridge, which is part of the Capitol Crescent Trail and an important connection for the communities of Woodside and Lyttonsville. In Prince George's County, the Kenilworth East-West Highway Flyover Bridge, which is made up of over 617 tons of steel, has been installed over this very busy intersection. In Glen Ridge, the Operations and Maintenance Facility prepares to be the heart of our operations. Here you'll find a variety of specialty track segments. These segments are essential for guiding our light rail vehicles as they navigate through the facility. Inside the OMF, state-of-the-art cranes and meticulously designed workspaces stand ready to handle everything from routine maintenance to major repairs. While we celebrate these achievements, there is still much work ahead.
As you can see, we have more visible tracks, stations taking shape, and complete bridges as a few of the Purple Line's most exciting milestones this year. This time next year, you can expect to see the Purple Line light rail vehicles begin testing on the new test track located in Prince George's County. More exciting news is coming soon, so please follow our social media and subscribe to our newsletter to stay up to date. We are connecting communities through Prince George's and Montgomery counties with Maryland's newest light rail system, the Purple Line.
All right. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us tonight. I want to again reiterate that we are opening up the Talbot Avenue Bridge on this Friday. Now I'll turn it over to Scott Glass to provide an update on all the exciting construction activities happening in this area. Scott?
Thanks, Ray. My name's Scott Glass. I'd like to go to the next slide, please. I'm going to start out the discussion about our progress here with a little brief educational series about one of the major elements on the Purple Line, and that is duct bank. You may hear that word used a lot, not only for the Purple Line, but also in the industry. And really what that is it's a underground concrete structure that contains conduits for power and communications cabling. It protects them, being concrete, from accidentally being struck by other excavations or sometimes other utilities going underneath them when they're installed. But we have duct bank that runs the entire length of the Purple Line, miles of it. And we also have probably an equivalent footage of duct bank that's installed to power services and signalized intersections across the project. So duct bank is a unseen but a vital element in the construction of the whole project, and one that requires a lot of digging. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Mike Edelin. He's our segment manager for this area that runs through Lyttonsville, and he can give you a great update on the progress that they've been making there.
Yeah, at the beginning of this area, mainly starting at Rock Creek Park, we've had a lot of work going on there. It's been a struggle with the rain since a lot of this work is inside the creek, but we have been able to remove the old trestle bridge foundation, removing the pier that supports that area, and continue with the bank and stream restoration. We completed one side quite a bit ago, and now we're on the other side, wrapping up. The aim of opening the trail back up as soon as possible. This Friday is the goal there, and then it will be moving on from there into some of the trail connection work in the future. Next slide. Up in Lyttonsville Yard, now this is the kind of the twin facility to the Glenridge Yard, a smaller facility, but there is quite a bit of additional track work and infrastructure related to maintenance of the future LRVs. That area, we've been continuing with retaining wall construction. We've been doing some parapet work on Lyttonsville Bridge. We did that over the summer. We started work on the traction power substation and a couple of the stormwater maintenance management facilities. There's 3 or 4 in this area, and 2 of them are underway as we speak. Upcoming, we'll be continuing with the traction power substation, working towards starting track work in this area in the next couple months, and then we'll be finishing up some of the other items that were partially completed, like the OCS foundations and the stormwater maintenance facilities, and finally getting into the construction of the maintenance building itself. Next slide. Lyttonsville Station, which is just the other side of Lyttonsville Bridge. If you were driving over, you'd see this ongoing structure. There's a maintenance, or sorry, there's an equipment structure that houses a lot of the mechanical and electrical equipment for the station, and it also serves as a ramp and stair connection between the Capitol Crescent Trail and the bridge. That structure is 70% complete now, and we'll be moving on to the platform and the canopies, some of the structural steel coming up. We've been, let's see what else I have here. Yeah, the station platform. Oh, the other thing was the elevator. So there's also an elevator connection here, and you'll see that going up shortly. Next slide. At Talbot Avenue, we've been doing a lot of the finishing touches here for the opening. We had the sidewalk curbing the past few months, the storm drain completion, the crash walls, which isn't really part of the bridge, but you'll see that if you drive down the road down below, a lot of that is wrapping up as well. And of course, we already mentioned this, but moving towards the opening of this roadway the end of this week. Next slide. In addition to the crash walls, which I already mentioned, we've had some storm drain installation down on the alignment and getting the area between Talbot Avenue and the CSX right away, getting our right away ready for track installation. So coming up, you'll be seeing the OCS foundations going in and then grading for the track work. And also there'll be the landscaping. We did start some of the landscaping along the houses and all that, but there'll be more landscaping coming up this summer and the fall to really move out of these areas and get them into final completion status. Next slide. One more thing in this area, the Rosemary School. So we did finish the parking lot stairway. There's another version of that there's a final version that still has to be completed, but that will be coming up this summer. The final landscaping and the fencing along the top of the retaining walls. A lot of the fencing is completed now, but there's some more that's going to be going in. The next major area, and a lot of this has been kind of escalating of lately as far as the amount of work going on in this area, the 16th Street yard there by the 16th Street Bridge, between that and Spring Street. There's been a lot of storm drain installation going on, excavation for retaining walls, and getting ready to do the storm drain jacking board. There's a water and sewer jacking board that were completed previously, but we're gearing up now for the final operation with the storm drain. In addition to that, we have the work between Talbot Avenue and in Colesville Road. So there's another retaining wall down behind the apartments there, and that work has been a lot of preparation there, but the structure of the wall will be starting pretty soon. And the Capitol's Crescent Trail work on the other side of CSX. We moved some equipment in there over by Ballard Avenue this past week and getting into some of that brush clearing and getting the Capitol Crescent Trail completed so that we can do the final landscaping in that area as well. Next slide. Kind of the final section of work here is the Spring Street Bridge. There's been a lot of preparation and getting ready for the summer anticipation of doing the Spring Street demolition and rebuild this summer, the underground utilities and then the site preparation. And with that being only a couple weeks away, the major upcoming work there obviously is the closure of the Spring Street Bridge from a traffic standpoint, and then getting into the rest of the utility relocations, demolition, and bridge reconstruction. Next slide. I think that might be, oh yeah, the last one was the bridge detour plan, just so you guys can see how the traffic's anticipated to be flowing through this area. The yellow is, of course, the Spring Street Bridge, and that's going to be at a commission with the rerouting around through 16th Street, Colesville Road, and Talbot Avenue, which would be open as well, but not really part of this detour. Not sure who I'm handing this back to, Ray or Scott. Is there another video you guys are playing?
Yeah, appreciate
Yes,
it. We'll
please play
get
the
the safety
safety
video playing now.
Safety is our #1 priority, both for our crews that are building the Purple Line and for the public. As we shift into track installation, you will see more and more work in the roadways and crews implementing lane shifts and detours. This could also include pedestrian walkways. So please take your time and follow all the posted signage. And if you see something amiss, please call our hotline.
Great. Well, we are getting towards the end of our presentation tonight, but let's first talk a little bit about community engagement. As Ray mentioned at the beginning, we are inviting all of you to join us, the whole Purple Line team, as we celebrate the opening of the new Talbot Avenue Bridge Friday, May 24th at 10 a.m. That's this Friday. I know several of you on the call in particular have been involved for many, many years, and we are really excited. Appreciate all your support and patience as we finish it, and we're excited to open this bridge to the community and take a moment to celebrate the progress that we're very proud of here on the Purple Line. This is a year of momentum, as Ray said. And after the event, the bridge will remain open for public use. So excited to have that bridge open. One more reminder for the Beyond the Rails Community Grant Program. The Purple Line team is so fortunate to be part of this community, and we take that responsibility seriously. So tonight, we wanted to take the opportunity to advertise our Beyond the Rails Community Grant Program. This program is aimed at supporting existing nonprofit groups by amplifying the great work that they're already doing in the community by providing additional funding. Our first round of 6 community grants were awarded earlier this year and were a huge success. And so the next round will be due at the end of this month, May 31st, 2024. You can get more information on purplelinemd.com, our website, and there's a short application that you can fill out there and learn more. And the next slide also talks about our website. This is how to get in contact with us if you have questions, concerns, would like to sign up for our construction updates. You can do that at purplelinemd.com. And again, if you need to reach out to us for whatever reason, we have the website outreach@purplelinemd.com, or you can give us a call at the numbers below. And now I'll hand it back over to Ray.
All right, thank you for that, Doran. Now we turn it over to you all for questions. We had quite a few questions that came in prior to the meeting, but I'll turn it over to Carla to start with those, and then we'll go to some of the questions in the chat and any live questions we get. Over to you, Carla.
Okay, thanks, Ray. So we just wanted to say we appreciate all of the questions that were submitted in advance of tonight's CAT meeting. And all of those are going to be included with the Q&R document that's going to be posted to the website after the meeting. We're going to read a few of these questions submitted so that we have time for all of the live questions during tonight's meeting. Please note that many of the questions received were inquiries about activities happening outside of the upcoming 6 months, but we did provide an estimated completion date for those activities. As always, any time frame provided is an anticipated date subject to change with construction, as you guys well know. All right, so let's start with the first one. Have the increased cars commuting and the location of boarding, offloading of the shuttle buses and their routes during the June through August closure of the Silver Spring Metro Station been reviewed and figured into the upcoming detour plan? Is there any way the Spring Street closure can be delayed until the Metro Station is reopened without delaying the opening of the Purple Line? Answer is no. The Spring Street Bridge closure has been coordinated to occur at the same time as the WMATA shutdown to allow crews to work more efficiently while WMATA trains are not utilizing the track directly adjacent to the Purple Line's work zones. Question number 2. How are the restrictions onto Woodside streets from 16th and Spring Street, as well as Georgia Avenue, going to be monitored to restrict the detoured traffic? Is the detour restriction just meant to be during the current rush hour times, Monday through Friday, or 24/7? How is traffic bound for Woodside addresses, residents, transit, services, and deliveries going to be differentiated from detoured traffic, especially if more extensive restrictions are being considered beyond AM, PM rush hours Monday through Friday? The answer is the detour will be implemented 24/7 until Spring Street Bridge is reopened for public use. Question number 3. Talbot Avenue, as cars are parking along the residential side, making the street difficult to navigate. Is that your responsibility or that of MCDOT? The answer is our partner, MCDOT, enforces parking and parking permits in that area. Next question. Some residents are concerned that there is no sidewalk on the residential side of the street. Is there any possibility that one can be added? Who would be responsible for doing this work? Answer. The project is replacing sidewalks in this area along the alignment where they have been disrupted by construction. Local sidewalk networks outside of the alignment would fall to our partners at Montgomery County Department of Transportation. They have a program in place that is improving accessibility to the Purple Line station called Bicycle and Pedestrian Priority Areas, BIPA. For more information, please visit their website, and we'll link to that in the posted Q&R. I think we have 2 more questions here, and then I'll turn it back over to you, Ray. Will the trail in the Woodside section be usable during the Purple Line train testing period, since it is not adjacent to the light rail tracks? Is there a new target date for this section to be usable? Our answer is we recognize the need and the desire to open the Capitol Crescent Trail for the community, and the project team will continue to strive for opportunities to open the Capitol Crescent Trail as soon as it's safe to do so. Connections such as this are an integral part of the Purple Line project. Last question we're going to answer from the pre-questions. When will the Capitol Crescent Trail work behind the Leggett Building and the Fenwick Apartments be completed? Answer. The Capitol Crescent Trail is on the opposite side of the CSX tracks here. The wall construction and backfilling in this area is anticipated to be complete at the end of 2024. There will be additional work in this area, but it will not be heavy construction. I'll turn it back over to you, Ray. And if people want to raise their hands or put questions in the chat, please do so.
So yes, we did receive quite a few in the chat already. To give you a break from reading them, I'll start with the first one. Hi, thanks for doing this. I'm excited about this project. My question regards access controls to the Purple Line stations. I'm a senior, and to be honest, I'm concerned about crime and access to the stations by the homeless and others. Will the stations have fencing to keep non-passengers out and fare gate entry controls? Hopefully those gates will also be high enough to prevent fare evasion. So the fare will be handled a little bit different than what you're probably used to in the area with the WMATA system. Here, there will not be fare gates or fare controls. Fares will be checked upon on the vehicles by fare attendants. Hopefully that answers that question. To go to the next question, what is the duration of the Spring Street Bridge closure? Mike, would you like to come on?
It's Scott, I can address that. So the Spring Street Bridge closure will start on June 1st. There's signage out there now that's posted, and it will extend into the fall, probably looking November, December 20 of this year.
All right, I'll take the next one, then I'll pass it back to you, Carla. Please discuss the detours regarding the Spring Street Bridge demolition in more detail. If we can go back to that slide, and if Mike and or Scott can come on and talk about this detour in a little bit more detail and answer any follow-up questions we have.
Yeah, I can do that again. The detour closes the access to the Spring Street Bridge at 2nd Avenue on the right-hand side of the yellow box, which is Spring Street, and on the left side of that at 16th Street. So the entrance into Spring Street at those two locations will be barricaded so that vehicles cannot access the bridge at those locations. The detours will route around Georgia Avenue to 16th Street and Colesville Road. So that triangle created by Georgia Avenue, 16th Street, and Colesville Road is the route of the detour in both directions.
All right, thank you for that, Scott. Back to you, Carla.
Yes, I think we had one at the beginning too. At the northern end of the northern end of Leonard Drive, just east of the Talbot Avenue Bridge, there was a house removed to give access to the Purple Line. Is that access temporary for the performance of the construction work, or will it become a public path to the Capitol Crescent Trail?
I believe that is going to be maintained for the trail alignment. Mike can chime in if he is able to, but the Capitol Crescent Trail runs on the north side of the alignment through that area, and that is going to be an access point to it.
And I just saw a note, it looks like that's going to be emergency vehicle access only too, so in the final condition.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure where the Leonard Drive connection is, but I'm just looking that up. Yeah, there's no trail connection over there. That's over on the opposite side.
Yeah, it looks like that's
the
just going
connections
to
are
be
over
emergency
Kansas.
access to the light rail for final condition. It's just south of Talbot.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
the only connections are at Kansas. Well, Kansas and Michigan and those roads where you can get onto the sidewalk, and then the sidewalk goes up and down the trail.
Thanks, Mike. Okay, next question. When will you start constructing on the retaining wall behind Park Sutton condos? Like, I don't know if you can answer that one. It's kind of adjacent to 16th Street there.
I think that was, I'm not sure the name of that structure that you mentioned, but the area between Talbot Avenue and 16th Street, there's a large retaining wall that I mentioned. We were doing a lot of preparatory work, and with the site, we removed some trees, and the heavy retaining wall structure would be coming up pretty shortly. In the next month or two, you'll start to see the evidence of the wall being installed. But if that's where that is, there's a pool, and it's between,
yes,
like I said, between Talbot and 16th Street.
And we can work with your community at Park Sutton to get specific details to follow up with you guys too. So we'll provide more detail there. Okay, next question. It looks like the entrance from Spring to 2nd might be closed. Is that the case? I live at the very south end of 2nd Avenue. If so, is that only for cars or also for pedestrians?
The local access for the residents will be accessible.
Right, but the Spring Street, where that red X is, that road doesn't connect to 2nd Avenue, does it? Thought that didn't connect there.
Yeah, that's the intersection of 2nd Ave and Spring Street. So you'll be local residents in that neighborhood will be able to get in through those barricades.
Yeah.
Same with pedestrians.
All right, let's jump to live questions. We'll go back to the chat. I see we have one hand up. Will, if you can unmute yourself and ask your question to us.
I had that question that was just completely answered. Thanks.
Oh, all good. So we got it captured. Back to you, Carla.
Okay, I'm just looking at this one from Barbara Sosnick. The question regarding differentiating Woodside residents and their visitors was not answered. Please respond. I'm not sure if I missed that. I was looking back.
Looking to, if you don't mind replacing the question or coming on and asking it.
Yeah, the question was asked before in terms of, coming into Woodside from various entrances, which is going to be restricted 24/7, but it's not going to be restricted to Woodside residents. Well, how is that going to be enforced? How are there going to be police who are going to be stopping everybody to see whether or not we live there, and what happens to delivery people and visitors?
I can answer that question. The major locations to enter those neighborhoods from Spring Street and 16th Street will be barricaded with barricades that allow traffic to pass by, and they will be have signage on them that restricts the traffic to local traffic only. And there are not going to be any policing that is at those locations, checking cars or people entering or leaving the neighborhood.
Right. I do see, I think, Joel, you have your hand up. Unmute yourself. We can go to you.
Yes. Hi. Thank you very much for that interesting video with explanations that I never heard before. Can you hear me?
Sorry, we have two Joels. So, Joel, that had your physical hand up. If you can hold on 1 second. That was my apologies. I should have said the last name.
Go ahead. Ask the question now.
Yes, and the other Joel, I'll come back to you after this. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Okay. I couldn't hardly hear you because I'm on the bus and the bus making a lot of noise.
All right, we'll come back to Joel. And the Joel, I can't say your last name, but it begins with a T. If you can go ahead.
Yes. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Ray. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I don't have my photo on, but I see you clearly. I
good.
want to thank you for that really interesting short video. It gave a much clearer picture of the dimensions of this construction work. Two quick questions. Is the Talbot Avenue Bridge and the streets on both sides of it, part of the detour when the Spring Street Bridge is closed. You alluded to that, or one of you did just a few minutes ago, and that could be an issue for congestion. But the other question I have that's more pertinent and, shall we say, on the ground, is that Purple Line built a stairwell from the corner of Lanier and Talbot down to Rosemary Hills School, a new stairwell replacing the old one. The currently built stairwell is extremely unsafe, concrete, but it takes off half of the sidewalk, and there's no visibility and no railing to protect it at that point. And there will certainly be accidents either at night or other times, because no one's expecting half a sidewalk to disappear down a stairwell. Please check that carefully and fix it. Secondly, I sent a message on your type message chat asking about the problem that was not responded to earlier about a 1 block long sidewalk on the residential side of Talbot Avenue that was demolished by the Purple Line in rebuilding the area and has not been replaced, and in fact is set up so that people will have to cross over from Lanier or Michigan Avenue corner with Talbot onto the very narrow section of the Capitol Crescent Trail, separated from the roadway by nothing but a bunch of cat eyes, poles that are flexible. It will be very dangerous with bikes and other fast things going by, for children going to school and back, and for other local pedestrians. Can you make sure that you and MC DOT put a sidewalk on the residential side of Talbot Avenue? It's not going to be hard. That area is full of very wide driveways that the Purple Line installed, but no sidewalk. An obvious mistake. Can you fix it?
I mean, there's three things that you mentioned. One was the sidewalk, which was the last thing. That the condition that is out there is the final condition that we have in the drawings, which is reviewed by all these different entities, and so there isn't any plan to install a sidewalk or the right-of-way access for that. But certainly
get a supervisor out there in a hurry to check it out, and MC DOT do the same. This is urgent.
Yeah, as far as the sidewalk thing, we have had a couple walkthroughs prior to this opening where they've reviewed a couple of those issues you mentioned. We have reviewed those in the field. As far as the final condition of that staircase is changing over the summer, I mentioned we're going to be putting in a different staircase. That was a temporary staircase, and we'll check again on the safety issue if there's still an issue. But we had the plan was to put in enough temporary measures there that it was sufficiently safe as far as the railings and widening the sidewalk on the other side with asphalt. So I'll go back out there tomorrow though and take a look.
The asphalt on the other side of Talbot Avenue is the Capitol Crescent Trail.
Yeah.
You can't.
Okay, I think we can take a look at that and respond. We can respond back fully to you on that one
very soon. Real.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem.
I appreciate the questions, Joel, and we'll make sure we get a response back to you. I see we have a couple more hands that are going up. Denise and.
Yes, that's me. Hi there. Carla knows me, actually. So I live in the Park Sutton. We're a 13-story building with 226 units. We have about 5 acres of property. And our parking lot, the western border of our parking lot's probably about 2.5 acres large. It's quite big. And the western border of our property line is about 500 feet long. And the entire western border of our property line is going to be the Capitol Crescent Trail retaining wall. So on any part of that 500-foot long barrier or property line, we'll be able to touch the retaining wall. So, it sort of sounded like, we're sort of the afterthought, letting us know what's going on. You've got to keep us informed, and I'm a good one to keep in touch with. We need to know when the equipment's going to arrive. I suspect that a lot of equipment is going to be coming through our parking lot. So you can't just sort of show up. I mean, you've got to let us know what's going on. And roughly, when it's going to start, when construction begins, and roughly how long you estimate it'll take to build the retaining wall, because it impacts us 100%. So, any thoughts?
Yeah, I think we can absolutely coordinate directly with you. Let me take a look with the construction team and see
Okay.
what type of access that they're going to need from private property, and let's regroup and do a little side meeting and get back on track
Yeah.
with exactly how that schedule is going to work for you guys.
Is this, I missed the very beginning of that. I was trying to type a message to Joel there, but this is over on Lyttonsville Road.
Yeah, so we're the
Just-
we're the 16th Street section of Lyttonsville Road. So we're not the Grub Road, Lyttonsville. So yeah, it's a little spit of street right off of 16th Street. We're the last high rise on 16th Street. We have a massive parking lot behind our building.
Right.
And it's about, I'm guessing the parking lot's 2.5 acres. That's my
Yeah.
estimate. And our entire western border of our entire western border of our property line is going to be the retaining wall.
Right, right.
So, I mean, it's going to impact us. No one here is going to try to, try to stop you, obviously, but you do need to let us know what's going on. So, like, it's not an afterthought here. We have to live here through this, and so I'm the contact.
Okay, yeah.
Mike, I got
Yeah.
this.
Okay, yeah, Carla.
We'll-
we were trying to
Denise-
set up a meeting a while ago. We never really got that all together, but we have talked internally several times about trying to set something up with you guys to review our plan of construction and what possible solutions we have to the access and all that. So it's definitely on the radar, but we hadn't really started working there yet. So that's the reason there's been no meeting yet.
Okay, thank you.
I'll coordinate directly with you, Denise. So
Thank
we'll get that set up and we'll come out and spend some time and get everything straight.
Yeah, that's great. So I'll be around pretty much all summer. Thanks.
Awesome. I'll reach out to you and we'll get something on the books.
Cool.
Thank you.
Appreciate that, Carla. Thank you for the question, Denise. Let's jump to Eric.
Okay, thank you. I don't think I have a lot of questions about the detour, but my main question here has to do with the ride-on service. Ride-on number 4 actually traverses 2nd Avenue, which is not going to be blocked, and number 5 uses the Spring Street Bridge, which might be available. So I looked at their website. I didn't see anything about change of routing or anything at all about this. So is there anything you can tell me?
Scott, I don't know if you want to come on. I can start, but I know that we are coordinating with Ride On as we determine the detours. But Scott, I don't know if you want to elaborate on that.
Yeah, I don't know the specific information of the route changes to Ride On. They are certainly in the conversations and involved in the detours that we have on the plans and what we communicate to them in our regular coordination discussions. And we, like Ray said, he can get some better details on the specific, changes in any routes or stops and get that information out to the public.
Let us follow up after this meeting with more details on it, on that question for you.
This is starting in a week, so hopefully that has been, hopefully there's some talk about it already. Okay. Sort of secondary question. There's a light at the intersection of 16th Street and Spring Street. Will that light be disabled during this time because there's no traffic? Or what the plan is there?
Yeah, the timing on the signal is modified so that there's not a cycle that it goes through to turn the traffic onto Spring Street.
There are actually, hold on, excuse me. Excuse me, this is Denise Cohen again. I'm sorry to interrupt, but there are pedestrians who go from the Summit Hills who actually cross the street there. So you can't completely disable it.
Understood. That is taken into consideration and accommodated with the signal changes.
Okay, last question. There is an office building at 8555 16th Street that is just north of East West Highway and south of Spring Street. The only access to that building is northbound 16th Street. So when people come out of there, I think a lot of times they'll turn right on Spring Street. So they can be diverted all the way up to Georgia Avenue then? Just like, is that the intent?
Yeah, I mean, they'll be sent down to Colesville Road up to Georgia Avenue.
All right, thank you. Those are my questions.
Thank you for that, Eric. Now, Joel Ryerson, you've been patiently waiting with your hand up. If you can unmute yourself and ask your questions. Joel, can you hear me? Right, I don't see his video, so we'll try to get back to Joel. I'll circle back around. Let's go back to the chat. I think we had one or two more questions, Carla, in the chat.
I think where I left off, going back to Spring Street closure, will construction actually begin on the day that barricades are erected, or as is often observed, will there be a significant lag time when the bridge will be closed but no work has begun?
And Scott, if you want to take that one.
Could you read that question again? My apologies.
Will construction actually begin on the day that the barricades are erected, or as is often observed, will there be a significant lag time when the bridge will be closed but no work has begun?
Work will be underway immediately. It'll start with mobilization of equipment and personnel. You're not going to see the bridge come down the first week. That's certainly not the case. There's a lot of preparation activities that have to happen underneath the bridge and to coincide with the WMATA red line outage that starts at the same time. So probably as far as the actual demolition activities, probably the third week or so in June, you'll start to see those really begin to be visible.
Okay, thank you. Next question. Where is Metro putting their shuttle buses that probably overlap with the Spring Street detour? We need to have MCDOT put out a comprehensive map of all the Silver Spring detours and access to Metro shuttle buses. The individual maps become confusing without seeing everything together. Okay, next question. Is there a map that shows all access points to the Capitol Crescent Trail along the alignment? There is, and it's actually on our website, and I think we can provide that in the Q&R and maybe even in this chat here before the end of the meeting, but definitely we can show you where all those access points are. Next question. Has Ride-On said anything about Route 5, which is impacted? I think that's something that we'll probably have to follow up with after this meeting, but we can definitely get with Montgomery County and Ride-On and kind of detail what those impacts are going to be and how through the project, if any of those stops are being impacted and what those changes would be. Next question. Was there consideration given to having only one lane closed at a time for some period of time on the Spring Street Bridge, as was done on Grubb Road and the bridge over the Beltway on Seminary and Forest Glen?
The reason that the bridge is scheduled to be taken down in one complete pass is because there is a coordinated effort with WMATA for their red line outage that covers not just the Silver Spring station, but 5 other stations. And during that time, it is not possible to maintain one active side of the bridge while the other side is demolished it is only possible to demolish the whole structure and rebuild the whole structure.
Thanks, Scott. Okay, next question. There's concern again this summer about having children accessing the tracks. There is no blockage of the CSX access drive to the tracks at 3rd Avenue and Noyes Drive. Purple Line contractors put in concrete barricades south of the access drive and removed one of the fencing poles. So it has been totally open.
I did answer some of that in the chat, in that the fencing along the road itself, if there's issues with that, CSX had mentioned that a couple days ago to us to make sure that when we do start that we're maintaining a fence line over there. There is also, though, an access road that the CSX trucks have vehicle access to their tracks over there. So that, yeah, that doesn't currently have any blockade, and we would have to coordinate with them about a gate or something if they're going to lock that on their own and have a key that their personnel have. That's not really access for us. That's access for their maintenance and their safety personnel. So not sure what we'd be able to do there as far as that dirt pathway, gravel road or whatever.
Okay, I think we're going to go to Joel R right now. Joel, you got your hand up?
Yes, good. I just got off the bus, so I got off the bus. I think I had a question for this station earlier. So the property of the right-on bus operation, they're gonna eliminate some of the parking lot. And I don't know if that's true or not. But also the buses, most of the buses are right on. Number 2 and number 5. Number 5 goes down 2nd Avenue to 16th Street. And the other one goes through the Lyttonsville neighborhood and gets on Brookville Road and goes to my work. And I just want to know if what they're gonna do with those 2 routes and the bus operation right on, and also had to tie in with the fare boxes and the fares. I know they don't have that information yet till they finish and start running the trains. So that benefit, the metro benefit will be, I'll be using that my traveling, and I don't have to pay for my employer, the federal government. So I don't know what if they're gonna save some of the bus stops on 16th Street, Brookville Road, and I think that was Pennsylvania Street or Pennsylvania or Michigan. I don't know which one it is, but the number 2 goes right down the street and 5 goes down 16th Street. And that's all my question. I'm sorry I was late. I was
Oh, good, Joel. We always look forward to having you on these meetings. As promised on the net set of CAT meetings, we will have detailed information to you about how all of the systems are going to work together, in particularly the bus systems. We know that's very critical, not only to you, but to many of the constituents in the area. On the fare piece, we will also have more detailed information to you, not just you, but to the entire community, to share it out in that set of CAT meetings to give more information about where we are at regarding the fares and all of that. So thank you for those continued questions, which are much needed. and we'll be sure to have those detailed responses to you in the next set of CAT meetings.
Okay.
Hopefully you heard me.
All right, I'll go to the next chat question. They're wondering if traffic will be actively directed toward the Talbot Avenue Bridge while this construction is taking place on Spring Street.
If there will be active construction on Talbot Avenue Bridge, there will not be.
If traffic's going to be actively directed to use Talbot.
No, the detour.
Oh, certainly no.
Yeah, the detour is routed just to 16th Street and Georgia Avenue.
Okay.
Yeah, all the signage will say these other roads, and then the local have like the local traffic only on these other side roads. So
thanks, guys. And then from Barbara Sanders, we really miss having the local transit and DOT people on the call. I think I do see there are some representatives from MCDOT on the call. So we do have those folks on, Barbara. So if there's any questions you want to raise, please do so. Let's see what else we got. FYI, CSX had a gate for decades and Purple Line removed it when doing utility work under the tracks over to the Woodside station property, according to CSX. The fence post that was used for that gate has been removed on one side. Please work with CSX so the damage done by Purple Line utility construction to the gate can be reconstructed. The orange netting over the concrete barriers has now deteriorated as well. Yep, I think we'll take a look into that too. And Eden, we can definitely send you a copy of those slides. They're also going to be posted on the Purple Line website, so no problem. We'll get that to you. And that's all I see in chat right now, guys.
All right. We do have two hands up. Denise, did you have another question?
No, I'm okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. And then the Sislins.
Hi, thank you. My name is Samuel Sislin. I live in Rosemary Hills. I submitted a rather detailed comment and question and some suggestions regarding the bidirectional traffic on Talbot Bridge. I'm sort of surprised that either it didn't get to you or it was ignored. I'm not sure which. But nevertheless, I'm concerned that the lanes on Talbot and the turning radii on both entrances and exits to the bridge are very, very narrow. And I think it needs to be addressed before there are vehicular accidents there.
I appreciate we did get your question, and our apologies if you didn't get a response to it. We did not ignore your question, but to answer your question,
I did not get a response. Thank you.
We'll make sure we get a response to you, but I can try and answer now. But the bridge is designed to standards and does meet compliance with the design standards. But we'll take a look at what you sent and make sure we get a detailed response back to you to what you submitted.
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
You're welcome. Sorry about that. Patricia, if we can jump to you.
Thank you. Thank you. I live in Lyttonsville, and I did send this question out. I'm not sure I sent it to the right place, but I had asked this might be Department of Transportation. The residents on Talbot Avenue, after you leave, when Talbot Avenue comes down and makes a left to go to Rosemary Hills, there. When it continues down to Michigan Avenue, the residents who live in that area say that now that the bank of trees are gone and everything that was up there, which buffered the noise from the train, with nothing there now, they're suffering from the noise of the train. I don't know if you had received this note or not, but is there going to be any kind of noise buffer or something that will keep that noise down a little bit?
Yes, that retaining wall, it gets a noise wall put across the top of it. And that will suppress the noise that you hear now from the active CSX and Metro MARC trains, and then from the Purple Line train as well.
Oh, okay. That would be helpful. And there was, let's see, I had another one, which was right there where Lanier starts from Talbot Avenue. There was a community sign to identify Lyttonsville, said, Lyttonsville 1853. And of course, that had to be taken down. But I did ask someone who was, who we talked to when we were looking at that area, and I asked if it would be put back up, and I was told that it wouldn't, because it was a sign that looked like a wooden sign. It was a wooden sign, and that's all concrete now. So I wanted to know if a metal sign denoting a person is entering Lyttonsville will be placed up there, since it's all cemented over.
Yeah, I think Carla or Ray, we can have to follow up on that and look a little bit closer into that location.
Okay.
Okay.
Kat, let us circle back with you on that.
Okay, thank you. And my last question is, when the bridge opening occurs on Friday, which side are we to be on for the opening? The 4th Avenue side or the Talbot Avenue side to go across? The first
Serena,
cross.
Serena, do you want to answer that?
She said she was going to check on that.
We might need to follow up with you after this, Pat, too. So and we'll give you a call directly and make sure.
Okay, thank you.
I believe it's the 4th Avenue side, Carla.
Okay.
I was just checking to make sure. So
I saw something in the beginning that said 4th Avenue. We wanted to be able to tell people who were parking. We know they can't park in the school lot or the church. And I just wanted to, I'll be in my car, but I wanted to make some suggestions to whoever was going to come a distance and drive, that parking on 4th Avenue is not very good, and Hanover and Grace Church, that's usually kind of busy. So I was thinking that the Talbot Avenue side is the best area to park in.
So I think there's going to be some staff out there to help direct people too. And I think Serena's going to reach out to you tomorrow, and we'll make sure that you're crystal clear, and we can work with you and everybody else to make sure that you guys know exactly where to be. Okay. And then the day of, we'll have staff out there directing people too.
Okay, I talked to her briefly today, and she said she was going to check that out.
Awesome. Yeah, I know she's going to get back with you tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I'm not seeing any other hands, Carla.
Yeah, I don't see anything else in chat either. Anybody else have anything?
If we can go back to the contact us slide so that we can be sure everyone has all the various ways that they can contact us. All right, not seeing any other hands, Carla.
Okay,
Check
well,
one more time. Turn it over
yeah.
to you.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. We really appreciate your time. We know how much impacts you've been through, and we definitely understand the frustration. So please don't be a stranger. We look forward to progressing the project and working with you, and we hope to see you all at the Talbot Avenue Bridge opening. We're really excited to open that bridge and be with you and the community this Friday. So again, reach out to us at purplelinemd.com. If you're a member of the media, there's media@purplelinemd.com, and our English and Spanish hotlines are 24/7. So thanks again. Have a great night, everybody.